Hi there, this is Decibel, and I was going to go over the concept of sexualization with you today, which is a technique that evolved in the field over time. And what I was realizing that was a lot of my sets were really strongly hooking on a level that she was pursuing me. She was demanding my phone number. She was a lot of reverse keno, and she would reopen me. So these girls were like doing this, and I was trying to figure out what was going on, and I realized these were the conversations I was sexualizing, which was the term I gave to it. So basically, what sexualization of a conversation is you take an otherwise, logical or benign, non-sexual topic that you're talking about, and you do things to it. Your response does stuff to that conversation to bring it into sexual territory. You do it in a non-needy, creepy, non-sexual way sometimes, very subtle. Or you can do it very directly. You can implicitly or explicitly invite her to have sex with you through this comment. But you don't have to go there sexually. You don't have to mention sex at all. You just have to create an environment of sexual tension by using certain charged words that put her mind on the path of sexuality. And once you bring the topic up, for most women, even though they may initially shit test you or seem disinterested, when they see that you're a non-judgmental experience, man, they're just going to take off like a runaway train. And you don't have to do much work, and that's the key here, is just to bait the conversation so that she'll become excited and talkative, and you can spend the rest of the night talking about sex, or she will. I mean, it's that powerful. And then she'll keep wanting to reopen you to talk about sex. So the concept is that there's a little bit of keno going on. So physically she's feeling a little something, but her mind gets on the concept of sex, so that there's this gap between what she's feeling emotionally and what she's feeling physically. And a tension is created, and she's compelled to try to resolve this tension by chasing you and trying to touch you and giving you attention. But you're not going to resolve this tension. You're going to let it linger until the bedroom. So I want to talk about certain key points, and I call these bricks. You're going to put these little bricks together and form the house of sexuality. These bricks consist of pre-selection, which is a very important thing. You can demonstrate pre-selection, which I do with my cell phone routine and with a necklace that I wear, which I'll show you. The cell phone routine is you open up your cell phone to show a picture of your dog, for example, and on the way, lo and behold, there's some breasts. And naturally, either girls are going to mention it, in which case you can go into a gambit about it, or they will pretend not to mention it, pretend not to notice, but in either case, they are noticing the picture of breasts on your cell phone. And then my necklace, and there's a story behind this that implies sexuality and pre-selection. So these are important things to demonstrate. It's one thing to talk about sexuality and pre-selection, but we can actually demonstrate it in the field, and a girl sees it with her own eyes. That's very powerful. Another little brick would be impulsivity. You want to reward certain traits of hers. If she gives you a story that she's been impulsive and she cuts her hair off, for example, you can reward her for that. You want to say, yeah, it's really cool. Sometimes you just listen to your gut, you go with your feelings, and you're impulsive like that. I mean, some of the best things in life come from that. So you want to reward impulsivity, because that's got some sexual connotation. You want to show that you're non-judgmental, not just about sex, but in general. You're a cool, laid-back guy. You're not too judgmental about people. You're adventurous. You're experimental. You're passionate. Also, again, not just about sex, but passionate about art and everything else. You're sexually experienced, and you can say this in explicit detail. You should do your homework so you understand certain sexual techniques. But your discussion about different kinds of vibrators and deep spot and things like that, you want to talk like an authority about this stuff. That you believe that in honesty, you're honest with all your partners. You don't believe in making up any stories or lies. You're discreet, and you believe in having sex without strings. No strings attached sex is just fine. There's no expectation of a relationship or outcome of any kind here, although it may occur if she's deserving of it. So here's a few examples that I've come across in field that sort of highlight this. So a girl says she's a ballet dancer. What can you do with that? It's a benign topic. How can you possibly sexualize it? All right, and this is true, by the way. I've dated a couple ballet dancers, and I'm on to you. I totally know what you're all about. Ballet dancers get off on the whole concept that outside they're pure and innocent, but you get them in the bedroom, and we all know the friggin' craziest sex addicts you'll ever meet. Let's say she says she's into cooking. All right, that's benign. How can you possibly sexualize something as great as cooking? I, for one, love to bake. I just like to work with the dough with my hands. I just think there's an innate need to touch. There's just a certain sensuality to cooking. You just need to feel things, and that's just so important, that drive in man in general. So you've just sexualized that. All right, a lot of girls have tattoos. What can you do with that? I mean, you can take that into your own history. I dated a girl with a tattoo. Do you have any piercings? I date girls with lots of piercings and tattoos. So I dated one girl with a nipple piercing, which was fun. But there was this one girl I dated with a clit piercing, and that was friggin' the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So you show your experience, you're non-judgmental, but the bottom line is you've just moved her head into sexual territory. You've just introduced the topic of sex, and you haven't said, hey, I like to have sex. You've done it in a way that's just kind of fun and teasing, but believable and authoritative. And this will just open up the floodgates wide open. Once a girl's mind is on sex, she'll just talk about it like a runaway train. So I hope you employ this tactic. I think that you and your wing should try this little experiment where you one wing gives a topic such as this, asks a question or makes a comment as if you're a woman in the field, and then it's the other wing's job to sexualize that comment, to bring it into sexual territory. So give it a try. I'll see you out in the field.